All right, we'll also come to this in the meantime. The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is continuing at the Pretoria High Court today. Proceedings were halted on Friday after one of the lawyers fell ill. Meyiwa's friend, Mthokozisi Thwala, is under cross-examination, and he's one of the 7 adults present when the Bafana star was gunned down in what is being called a house robbery. Moloko Moloto is there for us and joins us now to, of course, not only reflect back on some of the testimonies given by Mthokozisi Thwala, but also what to expect at the Pretoria High Court this morning. Colleague, a very good morning to you. I mean, Mthokozisi Thwala giving, not only testimony, but witnessing that cross-examination where there were pertinent questions being asked to him about whether he did see the firearm, what it looked like, what the intruders looked like, and that all being important to uncovering what exactly happened when Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed.
Good morning, Tumelo. Indeed, very important details which the defense would obviously, as they are cross-examining Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala, who is a friend or was a friend of the late Bafana goalkeeper. And he was, as you said, present in the house on that fateful night when Senzo Meyiwa was gunned down. Also present in that house was another friend of Senzo Meyiwa, Tumelo Madlala. And of course, this is week number 2 with Mthokozisi Thwala on the witness stand being cross-examined by the defense. And we also heard, obviously, with the defense really trying to drill into his testimony, asking in terms of the number of cans of alcohol which were even present in the house at the time. And obviously, the fact that it's been that long, he's been saying, look, I don't know how many cans were in that house, which is an indication that they possibly were even drinking alcohol. And of course, today, on Friday, the defense lawyer felt that he was not well and asked the court to postpone this proceeding to today. The expectation is that Mr. Thwala will also take to the witness stand again, and we wait to see what sort of questions this time around will emerge from the defense as they try to defend their people. Now, obviously, there are other lawyers who will be coming in, those who represent the other accused. They certainly will be trying to drill and poke some holes in the testimony of Mr. Thwala. The expectation is that this particular court will start possibly at about 9:30 or any time from 9:30, so that it can proceed throughout the day.
Now, of course, Moloko, I mean, when it comes to cross-examination as well, just before I let you go, what are some of the questions do you think, colleague, will be asked this morning as we continue to try and hear what exactly happened? We know that there are more suspects in the stand. Mthokozisi Thwala still being cross-examined, but also I'm sure they want to be sure that indeed it is those intruders, as Mthokozisi said, that came into the house and shot at Senzo, and not necessarily those who are already in the house.
Yeah. Well, Tumelo, this being a criminal case, the onus or the responsibility is on the state to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the men who are standing in the dock are indeed the ones responsible for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. It's been many years, of course, and it's going to be a monumental task for the state to do that. Of course, it's convinced that it's got the right men in the dock, but we should also recall that it took them many years for them as the state to arrest those. Initially, they actually arrested wrong people, and it took them a very long time before they could even catch this particular ones. Now they believe they indeed are positively linked. So it's going to be a very difficult one, and with the defense lawyers, they would really want the finer details, and they will do whatever is possible for them to try to discredit the witnesses for the state. And you should also remember that Mthokozisi Thwala, he opened a case against the police, saying that in 2019 he actually was taken by some of the two police officers who arrived at his home, and they wanted him to some extent as a friend of Senzo Meyiwa to kind of like confess and all that, and he claims that he was tortured. So all those things will obviously, those layers, at some point as the trial continues, they will be interrogated, and the men who are in the dock will do everything in their power to try to prove their innocence, while on the other hand, the responsibility, as I say, lay with the state to prove the men who have been arrested beyond reasonable doubt that they are indeed the murderers.
All right, we'll be sure to, of course, take a look at those proceedings. So when they do start at the Pretoria High Court, ENCA reporter Moloko Moloto setting the stage for us in terms of what occurred last week before that Friday adjournment and that continuation in court this morning. We'll be sure to head over to court as soon as the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial commences.